Let's just do this. So all I'm doing is moving this mulch aside. Okay, that's all I'm doing. This is all kinds of different stuff. Most of it's grass clippings, but not all. Okay, parsnips. Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and I thought I'd just do a quick little video here to show you how easy it is to plant things in a no-till garden. So this is a garden here. I think I grew broccoli here last year, and all I did in the fall was mow my lawn and throw some of the grass from the bag on the garden here. Look, right there under the grass, I got worms working away, turning that grass into worm castings, doing all my work for me. So here's how I'm going to plant my these are parsnips I'm planting here. So normally I plant rows of parsnips, and on the outer edges I have parsley. I forgot to bring the parsley seeds out with me today, so I'm gonna be putting a row in right here near the edge later today with parsley. But anyway, let's just do this. So all I'm doing is moving this mulch aside. Okay, that's all I'm doing. This is all kinds of different stuff. Most of it's grass clippings, but not all. Okay, parsnips are one of those great plants. I mean, not all seeds are like this, but they really don't require a lot of effort to sow. If you ever let them go to seed, wherever you let your parsnip plant go to seed, you're going to get parsnips growing there the next year. The seeds can literally fall to the ground and germinate just naturally, right? They're great in that sense. Anyways, that's all I'm mimicking here. And yeah, I've even done videos where I've planted parsnips in the fall, like in November. And the seeds just sit there on the ground all winter long, and then they just magically start growing in April, which is awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to make a line of seeds. These will have to be thinned later. I'm putting a seed every half inch, like every centimeter or so. They'll have to be thin. You want your parsnips to be I would say at least every crown to be at least 3 inches apart. But you never know what kind of germination you're going to get, what factors are going to affect that. So you plant fairly thick, not crazy, right? But especially when you're buying seeds. I mean, if you're using save seeds, you have to plant heavy because they don't have the good germination. These are ones from a seed provider, a reputable seed provider, Peasy seeds. So they pride themselves in their germination rates. I mean, they don't just sell to home gardeners; they sell to farmers and stuff like that, which use planting machines and stuff like that. So they can't be messing around. I think I need a couple more over here. Okay, so there's that row done. Let's put this over there. Now all I'm going to do, I got some nice, beautiful black compost. I'm putting the thinnest layer of this. Basically, I just spread it on until the seeds disappear. That's basically, I'm using enough soil so that I can't see the seeds. No more than that. Then I pat it down. Then we just hit it with a bit of water, not much, just enough to make it shiny. There, that's it. We don't want to make a lake in there. Okay, that's it. So there's that row done. Now I just got to do the rest of the garden. So that's all that's required, right? Pretty easy way to sow. Sure, there's plenty of weed seeds in this mulch, but I'm not worried about that. Now, one thing you can do to get things happening if you're impatient, and especially if it's cooler where you are, is put something over this, some sort of plastic, some sort of, affect some sort of microclimate, whether that's a dome or, one of my favorite tricks is just to make a wooden square and staple plastic onto it and just lay it down, right? Once you see the plants get a couple inches high, get rid of it, right? But that way, a lot of plants like parsnips are a pretty tough plant, and it can handle cold nights and that sort of thing. but you're going to get much quicker, much more accelerated germination if you can do something to warm that soil up. So I mean, these are all decisions you have to make depending on where you live and how sunny it is and so on and so forth. If if it was going to be really sunny every day, I wouldn't bother doing that. But if the days are going to be like today where it's overcast, I need to capture all the heat I can, do everything I can to try to make a little, any sort of microclimate. You don't have to have a huge greenhouse. You can do little things that basically, that perform like temporary slapdash makeshift greenhouses. There's a lot to be said for that. It's the approach I tend to use because it's cheaper and it's more modular, right? I can adapt it to every single bed and make it work the way I want. At least that's my argument. So anyway, just a quick little note on sowing seeds in a no-till garden. Dead easy, right? Here, I'm going to do the rest of it. You can watch that and fast forward. All right, so that's all that's needed. Pretty quick, pretty easy. You don't have to have nice fine compost for putting over the seeds. If I didn't have this, I would have just scooped up some of the soil from this bed, re-leveled the bed and used that, right? Or dug a bit deeper of a furrow and just pushed the sides back in. There's lots of different techniques. The main thing is that you move the mulch aside, you lay your seeds down, pat it down a little bit, and get some water on there, and just let everything else happen that's going to happen. To some extent, there's probably a lot of weed seeds in with all this yard waste, but it will not germinate. Generally speaking, okay, this is not a hard fast rule, but generally speaking, it will not germinate and start to grow until this mulch is broken down so much that the light and the sun and the heat can get at the soil that's underneath this mulch, activate those seeds and get them germinated. Sure, some things will germinate, but let's say there's 1,000 seeds right here. Maybe only 20 of them will germinate, in the absence of good heat, good light, good sun, and all that sort of stuff. So the mulch is a weed suppressor as well, even though it's full of weed seeds. Once my parsnips are of a decent height, let's say 6-8 inches high, I'll add another layer of mulch. And any sort of weeds that have come up in that time, I just push them down, put the mulch on top. And for the most part, 99% of them are killed off by that. And sure, there's various kinds of tenacious weeds that are on kill. I'm just talking about your, the general type of things that tend to be in yard wastes. I've got a 2,500 square foot garden here, about 50 beds of this size, and a full-time job, and a commute. And 2 kids and a wife. So if this was really hard, really labor intensive, and very, difficult, time consuming to do, I just could not manage it with everything else and running a YouTube channel, putting out a couple videos a week. I just could not do all of this if this was hard. The reason I'm able to manage a garden like this, despite having all these other obligations in life and running a YouTube channel and also having things I like to do outside of making videos, all that sort of stuff, doing stuff with my kids, going fishing with my buddies, all that sort of stuff, being off by myself, which I really like to do, is because this method of gardening, the no-till approach with the organic mulch, is just easy. It just saves you so much work. So anyway, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my podcast, maritimegardening.com. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.